if I ever leave this world alive. Well, thank you for the things you did in my life.
Morning, YouTube. Wisdom Junkie. Joe's Pipe. Coffee. And what's left of my gifted. That's all that's left. McBaron's H&H Latakia Flake. Thank you, Nomad Piper. Can't get enough of it. Can't get enough. Have you ever been going through life and you're going along the path, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in terms of making good decisions, goodness, being moral, and then you stray from the path. You make a mistake. Some people call it sin. You screw up. And then you decide, hey, I screwed up. I screwed up bad. I'm in a dark place. Time to get back on the path. So you go back on the path to righteousness. And you find the path back onto righteousness is paved with difficulty. You seem to be not just punished over and over again and trying to get back down that path, but that the path is paved with difficulty, blocked. And in order to get back into a place where you want to be, on a path towards some sort of righteousness, man, you got to go through all kinds of stuff. Perhaps you have to see what that path of unrighteousness has led to for other people. And perhaps what your future would look like if you continue down that path. Sometimes that path ain't easy. Meet Dante. The Inferno. Old book. Fascinating book. It's so well written. It's ridiculous. Scholars have studied the book for years, and it's so in-depth and so thick with just metaphor and depth that you can take an entire Harvard course on it and be a scholar and still not really get it. But for that, go online, take a class. I think one of these Ivy League schools have free classes online. You can listen to their lectures, and there's like a 10-part lecture just on this one book, one chapter at a time, and it's ridiculous. But that's not why I get into this stuff, man. I get into this stuff because I don't want to see what some Harvard asshole scholar seems to think about it, or what those... I want to know what I get out of it. How does this stuff apply to me in my life? How do I translate it? Because you know what? I have an opinion too. I may not be as smart and as degreed as some of these guys, but I can pick up this book and I can read it and I can get bits and pieces out of it that I think apply to me, that I understand. And that matters. So, the point of the book, Dante, this guy, he did what I had described. He's cruising along in life. He, screwed up. He strayed, for whatever reason, midway through his journey. And he woke to find himself alone in a dark wood. That dark wood represents darkness. Everything a dark wood would represent to you. He can't remember how, conveniently, he can't remember how he first wandered there from the true way. But he is there. And he says, hey, I'm going to get back on that path of goodness. So he starts to climb up this hill. And he encounters 3 beasts blocking the way. A leopard, a lion, and a she-wolf. They're like, hey, no, you're not coming back up this way. We're guarding it. You're not going up this path of goodness that easily. Nope, no sir. No man shall pass. He's like, what the hell am I going to do now? Along comes a guy named Virgil. Virgil's like, hey, ain't no way you're going to get past those 3 beasts, man. There's only one way to get back onto the path of righteousness, and that is to go through hell first. Isn't there a country song about this? If you're going through hell, keep on going. Well, maybe that's loosely based on this book. Virgil says to Dante, you follow me and I will be your guide and lead you forth through an eternal place. Because there can be no direct descent past the beasts. You must first descend through hell and recognize sin for what it is. And only then can he reach the pinnacle of joy and the light of God. And henceforth they go through all the different circles of hell. You've heard of the circles of hell, I'm sure. And each circle of hell gets progressively worse. And I'm not going to go through them all. But each one has its own individual suckage. Like, look at this here. This represents the 8th circle of hell. And different kind of souls are being punished in different kinds of ways within that one circle. So, and it goes on and on and on, and it's just this, Dante's got to earn it, man. I don't know what he did, but he has got to earn it, because he has to go through and see all of these people he knows, people he knew of, that has sinned in different kinds of ways. Fraud, treachery, murder, into the ninth circle of hell. This is how much crap he's got to go through. And then, only then he's got to go into another book, which I haven't read yet. He's got to go into purgatory. So, what's the point, people? What's the point? When we screw up, in order for us to get back onto the path of righteousness, do we have to go through some sort of personal hell to get back to where we need to be? Do we just decide one day, oh, I screwed up? No. I don't think we do. Say, I don't know, drug abuse, for example, or alcoholism. If you abuse drugs or alcoholism, man, you can't just one day stop and decide, I'm no longer going to do it. No, man, you got to go through detox, go through hell. So this book is kind of a metaphor for life. It's not just a religious book. I mean, it's much more. Have you guys ever screwed up and done something and then say, well, I need to get back on the path, man, but you got to suffer first, and you got to see what sin and things did or can do to other people before you have the opportunity to really come back and say, hey, I'm back on the path, man. I'm back on the path to righteousness, but I have earned it. Check out the book, man. It is not that bad. It's very poetic. Prose is unbelievable in here. Beautiful work. That ungrateful and malignant stock that came down from the Faisal of old and still smacks of the mountain and the rock. At one point, one of these people who are suffering in hell asks him, what brings you here before your own last day? What fortune or what destiny he began? And who is he that leads you this dark way? Dante says, up there in the happy life I went astray. In a valley, I replied, before I had reached the fullness of my years. Only yesterday, at dawn, I turned from it. The Spirit showed himself to me as I was turning back, and guides me home again along the road. That's just beautiful writing. So that's enough time I spent rambling now for 13 minutes. If you've lasted this long, once again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everything. And the smoking lamp is out.